I really don't like the idea of being nice to yourself. There's a time and a place for everything. And if you're in a season where you definitely need to grow and you're stuck in the same loop and the same cycle, there's no reason for you to just look in the mirror and be kind and nice to yourself because evidently that's the reason why you're stagnant. Evidently, that's the reason why you haven't grown. This is coming from someone who was extremely reliant on kindness and love. And I have to be nice to myself. I have to love myself. And what happened was I got nothing done. And you've heard it a million times, right? Be kind to yourself. That advice, it feels good in the moment. Like, who doesn't want to be kind to themselves? Who doesn't want the world to be kind to them? It's not like we walk around and we want people to tear us down brick by brick, bone by bone, and tear off and rip off our flesh and expose the darkest parts of ourselves. And so we don't like to do that to ourselves either. It's not often you come home and you want to look in the mirror and say, you are a piece of garbage. You suck. You could do more. It's tough. Those words are tough because it's like we know that already. Deep within the constructs of our soul, our hearts, we know we could do more. We know perhaps we're not giving it 100% right now. But we know perhaps there is an alternate universe where we are a 10x version of who we are now, given the same circumstances. And it's difficult when you acknowledge that, man. So I understand the idea of being nice, but it's just not that practical, especially if you really need to experience a season of tremendous growth. I don't think it's that practical at all, like in any way, shape, or form. What if being nice to yourself is actually keeping you from reaching your fullest potential? Just what if? Because that's definitely a possibility. So in this video, what I want to do is I kind of want to show you why I don't really like the idea of being overly nice to yourself and how that actually can sabotage your progress. What you could do instead, and maybe it'll help you achieve real growth. Given that whatever you're doing is not working for you. Given that you are nice to yourself and you're stuck in the same cycle. Given that you're nice to yourself and nothing's changed. If that's the case, well then maybe what I'm about to say might help. In the military, I was extremely nice with myself because I was like, dude, come on, you can't be so tough on yourself, man. It's not like you had a respectable father to teach you the ropes and help you grow and help you do this. And that was actually the reason why I didn't grow. I took it too easy on myself. I would look in the mirror after everything that has happened, everything that I was going through, and after I acknowledged my inability to just freaking step on the gas and transform my life, I said, well, bro, you didn't have a masculine role model. I mean, it's not your fault. Wasn't your call. You couldn't do anything about it. You couldn't. So it's not your fault, man. Be nice to yourself, bro. You're good. You made it this far. Look at you doing big things. You're in the military. And by the way, I'm freaking over here scrubbing toilets and mopping floors in the military. Shoot, couldn't be nice to myself in that. I didn't like it. I wanted more for my life, and that just wasn't it. I'm telling you, I used to tell myself all the time, it's okay. It's okay to skip the gym today. You're tired. Days turned into weeks, and before I knew it, I lost all momentum. Momentum just disappeared. I didn't have it. That's when I realized I'm not being kind with myself. I'm letting myself off the hook, which isn't okay. There's times where you have to hold yourself accountable for your inaction as well as your actions, but you have to hold yourself accountable. You have to have some degree of, hey, this is what's necessary. It's time to step up to the plate. So the problem with being nice to yourself. One, it encourages excuses over accountability. When you're too nice to yourself, it's easy to execute, or not execute, but to excuse your behaviors. So instead of holding yourself accountable, you may say, it's okay, I'll do it tomorrow. But tomorrow comes and you say, it's okay, I'll do it again tomorrow. And it's a cycle. It's a nonstop cycle. For example, let's say there's a person that's skipping an important task because they think they deserve a break, only to feel guilty later for not making progress, and they have regret because they wish they would have just done the task. We regret because we failed to do what's necessary. That's why we regret. You didn't do something that you thought was truly necessary. If you did what you thought was necessary, if you did all you could, there would be no room for regret. It wouldn't be a thing because you did everything you could. To the best of your human capabilities and potential, you did everything you could. Truly everything. So there's a wonderful here's some psychological insights to this. There's a gap between your actions and your goal. The gap between your actions and your goals create internal tension. If you are just overly forgiving, that just prolongs that discomfort. It's not resonance, it's a dissonance. You can't be overly forgiving. If you haven't done something, it's truly because you haven't done it. And you know you should. Another thing that I don't like about being overly nice to yourself is it promotes comfort over growth. Everyone heard this, and you know this. Growth, it requires a degree of discomfort. If you're constantly letting yourself off the hook, you'll stay in your comfort zone where nothing changes. People so many times, including myself, I mean, I've had this problem. I've avoided hard conversations or challenging projects because I tell myself it's just not worth the stress. Now, if it's not worth the stress because I can delegate it to someone else or I can outsource, okay, that's different. I'll get someone else to do it and I can occupy my time doing what's urgent and important. But if it's something pretty important and I know it's like the next building block to become the best version of myself and I say it's not worth the stress, hey, maybe it's not worth the stress. Maybe it's I can't stand the stress. So you're basically saying I don't have what it takes to grow. And so I'd rather stagnate. That's more honest. Friedrich Nietzsche has a wonderful concept of struggle. That which does not kill us makes us stronger. Magnificent, isn't it? Magnificent. Hey, that's literally how it works. If it doesn't kill you, you inevitably become strong as a byproduct of simply facing the challenge, win or lose. Because if you lose, lesson gained, strategy developed, and you tackle the beast once again. And if you conquer and you win, you overcame the obstacle, which makes you more prepared, and you become a person that's more likely to tackle the next obstacle full throttle, with precision, with grit, with strength. There's a season of intense growth, and there's a season of acceptance, and there's a season of reflection. I'm speaking purely in the sense that, and I'm going off the assumption that you are experiencing a series of opportunities and you are waiting on a drastic and dramatic change in your life. If you're in that season, you have to level up. There's no excuses. I know it's tough, man. You have to sum up every ounce of courage to just do this thing that seems so hard, but it's only hard because you're acknowledging the possibility of failure, and alongside that, you're acknowledging how difficult it is. To negate all of that, acknowledge that micro habits can compound into macro habits. So start small and acknowledge, instead of what if I fail, hey, what if everything goes right? What if you don't fail? What if you win big? What if you hit the home run? What if you hit the lottery, for crying out loud? Now would you roll that dice? It's 50-50. It's not 90-10. It's 50-50. I mean, those are pretty decent odds because on the one hand, you lose, you gain knowledge and a lesson that you can teach and share, and you just become better. And on this hand, you just hit. That looks like a win-win to me. When you're overly kind with yourself, you create this false sense of progress too. And I've been a victim of this, telling myself that I'm doing my best. It became my excuse for mediocrity. I wasn't pushing myself to do better. I was just justifying why I should stay the same. You hear it all the time, right? This is just me. Okay, yeah, be you, but the best version of you. You're always growing. You're always experiencing growth. If you're the same person that you were a year ago, there's something going wrong here, and we need to make a drastic change because we're constantly evolving. We're constantly growing. We're presented new purposes, new whys. We're presented more challenging obstacles. And so we have to meet that. There's a standard. Nature acts in that cycle. It's never ending. It's cyclical. It's ever changing. And so we have to be ever changing, but spiraling upwards, not stagnation. There's always room to grow. The world is growing. Technology is growing. Everything is growing. We have to match that. Match that level of growth by growing internally. Working on ourselves and saying, well, there are some things that just have to be done if I want to experience this growth. When you say, I'm doing my best, I understand. Sometimes life can be a little unbearable. I get it. I really do. I mean, it's not like I've been 100% full throttle from the get-go. I'm probably less disciplined than you. As a matter of fact, I believe I am. I have a hard time staying consistent with things. But I just have to constantly remind myself that the work just needs doing. Like, this is the work that needs to get done. If I am to expect and demand the result, I can't expect and demand that result and that life for myself if I can't do what's necessary to get one step closer to it. If you're at work and you're consistently underperforming, you'll probably say, like, I'm doing better than most people. Yeah, but are you doing better than the version of you yesterday? Screw most people. Are you doing better than the version of you yesterday? There's a brutally honest aspect of growth that is 100% required if you want to scale and catapult your life. So that's kind of where we talk about tough love. Discipline is really the highest form of self-respect. It's not about being harsh. Discipline isn't about that. It's about respecting your goals and values enough to take action, even when it's uncomfortable. I mean, athletes, they wake up early to train every day when they don't feel like it. The discipline pays off in the form of success. Success is a byproduct of the hard work. You don't wake up and you try to win the championship. You wake up and you try to train to become so good that your talent and your skill and that hard work just demands the championship win. It's a byproduct of all the hours, all the days, all the countless nights you put in. The hours that nobody saw. The days where everyone was out and you were in, locked in, focused, dialed, completely just targeted, direct focus, intentional with something that you wanted to do. Don't think it's always being harsh. It's not necessarily being harsh. So like, here's a practical tip. Start small. Set non-negotiables every day. You need to have non-negotiable habits every day. I have non-negotiables. My non-negotiables are, hey man, drink some water. So I have non-negotiables when I feel weak. I have non-negotiables when I feel pumped up. So when I'm amped, my non-negotiables are go train, wake up early, drink water, try your best to fast. And if you're focused on content, which I am right now, double down on content, which you guys are going to start seeing more often because I had a series of distractions and there was a moment where I was distracted. And so that's where you guys saw, like, I was posting once every 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. I'll get back to the daily cycle to the best of my human capabilities. And if I can't deliver on that, then maybe I need to take my own damn advice. But given that I'm able to back that up, you're going to start seeing daily posts. I'll make it happen. You have to set non-negotiables with yourself. So now, let's say there's days where I'm weak. My simple non-negotiable is, hey, if you're weak and you really can't go to the gym, go sit in the sauna for like an hour and a half. Just sit down. Drink water, and still do something that's productive. If you don't have the courage or the energy to speak, Thompson, open up a book and read. You don't got to speak, just read. So you need to set non-negotiables to where these daily habits, they start to compound. You have no idea the amount of growth if you can just do something repetitively for an extended period of time. If you can do it for 30 days, you're solid. If you can do it for 60 days, you're even more solid. If you can do it for 90 days, you are golden. That is a routine. That's a habit. That's a behavioral change. Congratulations, compound interest, growth, win. Plus, I mean, honest self-criticism just drives growth. I mean, being kind doesn't mean avoiding the truth. It means being honest with yourself about where you're falling short and committing to improvement. You don't avoid truth. You look truth in the eye and say, yes, I know. But now you're presented with, what are you going to do about it? Will you be the person that takes action, or will you be the person that doesn't? It's one or the other. You either don't or you do. And you can have a list of reasons why you don't, and you can have a list of reasons why you do. But I can guarantee you someone out here has had it harder and is doing it better. And that amps me up inside. When I feel like a victim, when I feel like, oh, it's so tough, I can't do it. I'm like, dude, someone out here has it way harder than me. Way harder. And they're doing it better. I got to step up to the plate, man. There's a potential out there that I haven't achieved because someone out there has achieved it. So it's humanly possible. I am human. It is achievable. I can grab it. I just have to do what's necessary. So it amps me up. Like, seriously, that amps me up. So, for example, let's say there's like a writer reviewing their work critically and realizing this needs improvement. Instead of finishing a book and says, okay, that's done, I don't feel like rewriting it. No, like someone with high standards will revisit it hundreds and hundreds of times, like 20 times, rewrite, another version. What can we do to make it better? What can we do to make it better until it's as close to perfection as possible? So ask yourself, what's one area of my life where I'm making excuses? Because, hey, look, I've been there too. Write it down. Create a plan to address it. Why am I making the excuses? What's caused me to make the excuses? Is it a desire for comfort? Is it lack of courage? Do I need to work on a behavior change? Okay, so let's say I have to reinforce something. Let's say I do something once, go to the gym once, but I need to reinforce this so that it becomes a habit that sticks, which creates a behavior change. What are the actions I need to take to make that a reality? What do I have to do? Growth requires sacrifice, man. Sometimes just being kind to yourself means making tough decisions, not making easy decisions. You have to make tough decisions in the short term for the long-term benefits. Some people make easy decisions in the short term for long-term destruction. Just like habits can compound positively, habits can compound negatively. And when it compounds negatively, it snowballs, right? Bad things don't always happen all in one. It starts with one thing, and let's say, oh my gosh, my pet eagle died. Oh no, and then you're sad, and then you don't want to do anything. You call off work, and you stay inside. You don't go to the gym. You don't eat. You don't drink water. And then now you feel lazy and sloppy. The next day you acknowledge that your pet eagle died, and you feel sloppy already. So you're like, screw it. I'll just take another day off. I have a reason to. My pet eagle died. Day 3, it snowballs, and the next thing you know, you get laid off from work. Now you have no money. I mean, you're out of shape too. Now you can't afford a gym membership. Now you can't eat well. Now you're eating garbage, and now it snowballs into like a bunch of different things. In moments where it's tough, like, I get it. You just want to collapse and heal and kind of run away, get time alone inside. I know, like, trust me, I've done it, but I'm telling you to avoid it because I've done it. Nothing good happened from it. I'm telling you to avoid my failures. Do not do it. Do the opposite. When things get tough, just do something. Avoid doing nothing. When things are challenging and when you're stressed and when you're not feeling it, when you're having a bad day, continue to do something. Avoid doing nothing at all costs. And please make sure that something is in direct relations to your positive, progressive growth, not your negative downward spiral. Sometimes you might have to sacrifice leisure time to build a skill. Work on your side hustle. Over time, this effort, it just leads to a greater reward. All right? Build a skill, then you get good at that skill, then you can monetize the skill, work on a side hustle. Next thing you know, your small business turns into a business that can automate and function without you. I mean, but it takes time. Some people just can't see the game on a long enough time horizon, which is why I like to play long. I play 5 to 10 years. One, it helps me because short term, I can be impulsive, I can be emotional. Short term, it'll be ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. It's kind of like investing. If you're investing, the market will go up and down, up and down, up and down. It'll have higher highs, lower lows, and then if you're going short term, you'll be highly emotional, and then when it drops down, you'll pull it just for it to skyrocket up, and you miss an opportunity to profit. But when you just play the long game, you just sit there, you forget about it, and you're patient, and then you just do exactly everything else. You do everything else that you have to do while your investment is bringing you a profit or a gain. So life is the same way, especially when we talk about personal development and growth. It's the same exact way. You have to sacrifice. Look at the game on a 5 to 10 year time horizon so that in moments where things are tough, just say, oh, this is normal. I'm not supposed to win or do anything 6 months in. Like, I'm only 6 months in. I got 4 more years to go. And when you can speak in that time frame. It's like, I still got years left. Like, I'm not supposed to win this early, but I will win later. So there's a guarantee of victory if you can just outlast your self-doubt. If you can just outlast that very thing that's restricting you and holding you back, you win. 100%. There is a guarantee at the end of it. At the end, there is your victory right there. There is everything you wanted, or that you think you want. It's right there at the finish line. It just takes time to get to that finish line. And so it's always about consistency and repetition over intensity. It's not how hard can I go in the gym today. It's can I do it 7 days in a row? 14 days in a row? 21 days? A month? 30 days? 90? Right? Because it compounds. You get better. You get better. That falls into delayed gratification. Success is literally built on sacrificing immediate comfort for future growth. Success is literally built on that foundational principle. You hear it everywhere, and there's a reason why it's spoken about so often. You hear it so often when people talk about, well, what's your main principle to success? You hear the same principles because it's like, hey, this is what it is. All these self-help books, all these personal development books, all they really do is they give you a different perspective into the same insight. Another audiobook won't change your life. Another YouTube video might not change your life. Another podcast probably won't change your life, nor that book that you're reading. What will change your life is you being able to take action despite everything chaotic happening in your life right now. That's a promise, because when I look back on my life, change and growth has happened when I was just able to take action despite how much distraught I was in, how much pain I was in. That's when the real impact. That's really what made the real impact. And so, well, for all the people that care about balance, there's a way to balance, self-kindness and self-discipline. Start with redefining being nice to yourself. True kindness isn't about avoiding discomfort. It's about doing what's best for your future self. Remember that. Be kind to yourself isn't, you are loved, you are light, I love you. No, it's, you're not enough right now, but you damn will be. You damn sure will be good enough soon. But in order for me to get to that point where I love myself, it just takes a little bit more sacrifice. Do the thing that future you would be proud of. Do the thing that's necessary for future you to get pulled into reality. Visualize your future self. What will the you in 5 years thank you for? What will the you in 5 years say, hey, thank you for making that sacrifice for me. I needed that. How does that you look? How does that you behave? How does that you think? What does that version of you do? Does he or she waste time? Does he or she accept mediocrity? Probably not. Because that version of you, I would like to believe, has grown significantly. And so you can get to that point where you've grown significantly. It just takes steps, actionable steps, practical steps. You can use self-compassion as a tool, not a crutch. There's a big difference from self-compassion and self-indulgence. Self-compassion is acknowledging mistakes without beating yourself up, but still taking responsibility. Let's say you miss a deadline. Instead of saying, hey, it's fine, no big deal. Just say, I made a mistake. What can I learn from this? How can I avoid it next time? Instead of, it's no big deal. No, it is a big deal. Like, you screwed up. But, since you already screwed up, let's not dwell on what has already happened. We can't change it. Let's kind of go over here and let's focus on, well, what the heck can I do about it? And then, well, when you figure out what you can do about it, hey, things shift in your favor. Truly. Write down one area where you've been a little bit too lenient with yourself. We've all done it. I sure have. Sometimes I don't go training. I don't go to the gym and train. I'm not the perfect God-sent holy child of self-development. That's not me. I am just so passionate about this because I failed, and I want you to avoid my failure at all costs. It's called inversion thinking. Charlie Munger, yes. Watch any of my videos. I talk about it. You can watch Alex Hormozy. He's really big on it. I learned it from him, actually. Inversion thinking, yes. Avoid my failure so that you can succeed. Don't focus on what I did to succeed. Focus on what I did to fail. And I'm like, and just avoid it. Just don't do it. I'm super passionate about this because, man, I failed. All this stuff caused me to fail, like spiral downwards. I felt terrible, like terrible. The worst version of myself, man. So write down where you've been too lenient with yourself and identify a specific action that you need to take in order to improve that one area. Health. Okay, let's train. Health. Okay, let's eat better. Health. Okay, let's drink some more water. You want to save money? Okay, that's fine. Let's save money. Let's stop eating McDonald's. Go home and just find some food. You got food at the house. It's fine. That's fine. Don't be a slave to your impulse and your cravings. I mean, you got to set clear boundaries, man, for rest and action. I get it. Rest is important, but it should be intentional. Plan your breaks so they don't turn into procrastination, right? Moments where I'm tired, I literally say, okay, I'm tired. I know that if I continue working, the input significantly decreases, so I'm not giving it 100%, I'm probably giving it 50%, which also means that the work is mediocre because it's not my best. And if it's not my best, I simply have to revisit it again, which makes it harder on myself. Okay, so now if I just rest a little bit, I can come back 100%, delegate 100% of my energy towards the task at hand. And in doing so, I reap the reward, right? Make rest intentional. If you're going to take a nap throughout the day, don't do it because you're lazy, like, I want to relax. Do it because, dude, I'm exhausted. If I keep going right now, everything will end up suffering. Okay, let's close my eyes for 30 minutes, wake up, recharge, ready to go, boom. Hop in the cold shower, good to go. Hard things, man, hard things. Hard. They always work. There's a reason why they work. There's a reason why some of the best people, some of the best athletes, some of the highest performers do hard things. Because it works. Instead of, scrolling on your phone for hours and calling it rest, set a timer for 30 minutes to relax, then just get back to work. Not doom scroll, but literally set a timer and then get right back to it. You can use the 80-20 rule that I talked about in one of my videos. Spend 80% of your time, or spend 20% of your time resting or recharging, but make sure 80% of your other time is directly focused, meaningful work. I love that 80-20 rule. Are you kidding me? It's one of my favorite things ever. Because 80% of the things that you do produce the results. So the other 20%, use that to rest, use that to do whatever, eat, whatever you need to do. But 80%, do the work that matters to you. And then you'll end up growing. And if you want to hold yourself accountable, well, track your progress. What gets measured can also get managed. If you're not tracking your actions, you're more likely to make excuses. I mean, you could use like a habit tracker on your phone if you want, until it just becomes a thing where it's like, okay, I don't need to track my progress anymore. I could just go. Sometimes what tracking your progress does is it gives you kind of this reward, this dopamine hit. So for example, dogs, they respond well to reward, not punishment. So the best way to reinforce and reinstate a behavior is to simply present an award at the moment of task completion or goal acquisition, whatever it is. When you've acquired a goal, when you completed a task, present a reward that reinstates reinforced behavior, makes you more inclined to do it tomorrow because you are expecting the treat and the reward. Does that make sense? So tracking your progress is similar because you see physically, oh wow, I may not look like I'm losing weight in the mirror, but right here on my notebook, it says I'm getting stronger. The scale says I'm dropping down, but I may not see it. But you know there's progress, and so you're more inclined to keep going because that progress compounds over time. Here's something you could do, for example. At the end of each week, review what you've accomplished, where you fell short. Be honest with yourself. Just do that. Say, I fell short here. This week, I haven't been waking up at 4 a.m. on the dot. I used to just wake up at 4 a.m. and jump up. Now I've been kind of oversleeping. So, time to be honest with myself. I've been slacking. Do I still get everything done throughout the day? Yes, but it also takes time from important tasks. So if I sleep an extra 3 hours, I try to just sleep 6 hours, right? I can manage off 4. 4 is pretty good, not bad. 5 I can do. And 2 to 3, that's where it gets a little dangerous. Today I'm running off 3. But I mean, I had some caffeine. So I mean, stimulants, not saying do it, but hey, stimulants. But when I sleep 8 hours, I've realized that I can be my most productive with 4, 5, or 6. I've seen it. As a matter of fact, today I got a lot done and I'm running off 3. So that tells me, let's say I were to sleep 8 hours, 5 hours could have been spent doing something highly productive, which increases the likelihood of me achieving my goal a little bit quicker. But instead, I just chose to sleep for comfort. And that's the whole point of review, reflection. Let's see what happened. Let's see where things went wrong. You can create an external accountability if you really need to, kind of like a coach or like a best friend to keep you in check. What I mean by that is it's a lot easier to let yourself off the hook when no one's watching. So just if you want to stay disciplined in the gym, find a gym partner to go with. And make sure they're more disciplined than you. Please make sure the person you decide to hold you accountable is not someone that lets you off the hook easily. Make sure they have higher standards than you. Make sure they demand more of themselves. And they also, as a byproduct, demand a lot from you. Mentors, coach, friend, that's fine. That's why people have personal trainers. It's mainly for the accountability, right? It's like, I need someone to text me like, hey, are you coming? I need you to come. We got this set. Come on. Because what happens is you don't want to just, now it's like if you slack, you're wasting their time and you don't want to feel like a burden, right? Like, oh, I wasted your time. I'm sorry. No, like you'll be like, okay, I'll show up for you. And eventually you end up showing up for yourself as a byproduct of showing up for them. Share your goals with someone you trust and check in with them regularly. Hey, I was on the phone with someone last night. We got off the phone late. Conversation was long. We got off the phone at like 12:30, 1. And this person wakes up at 4 every day. And I told this person, I said, hey, don't worry, I'm going to suffer with you. Except I'm waking up at 4:30. Call me at 4:30. And because of that person calling me at 4:30, what happened was I got up. They held me accountable. Sometimes you need that in life. You need that. It's okay to ask for help. Help is available. You just have to suck up your pride, throw it in the garbage, get your ego deflated and say, I can use your help. It would mean the world and it will make an impact in my life if you could just extend your hand to me and just help me out for a season. Now, this is where I kind of contradict myself, but you can develop a morning routine that sets the tone. It's a tactic. I'm against morning routines because you become reliant on specific habits. So here's a great example. And it's because I lived it. I had a morning routine for years because I was in the military, we got up early. So I got very used to waking up at 4. Sometimes I get up at 3 and train. And so getting up at 3 or 4 to train was like my first morning routine. Mandatory. And so when there was a shift in my life where I just couldn't do that because I had to put in overtime at work or I had to do something else, I had to go deep into my side hustle or do stuff behind the scenes. When I couldn't wake up at 4, I'm like, well, I might as well not work out anymore. I mean, I missed my window. But it's still early. It's like 7 and I don't have anything to do until 10. So it's like, I look at it and I'm so unmotivated because I'm like, I couldn't do it at 4. Because I got so reliant on that routine to where when things shift in your life, and things will shift drastically, what happens is you say, damn, I couldn't do this. So now, as a result of that, you become reliant. But let's just say, for example, you have a terrible routine right now. I'd say that if you have a morning routine, it would do you more good than harm. It's fine. Mornings are great because they kind of set the foundation for the rest of the day. Start strong and everything just snowballs upwards. I like doing the hardest thing. To me, the hardest thing is training. I really don't like training. I really don't like it. Seriously, I do not like training at all. I hate it. I really do. But I do it because if I can kill one of the most annoying and difficult things to me, a lot of the tasks I have to do throughout the rest of the day are so easy because it's like, hey, I killed the big shark already. These are little baby fishes swimming in the pond. I'm good. I can capture them. I'm not afraid to get wet because I got wet and I got bit by the shark, right? So I take care of the shark first. So it makes hunting all the other little baby fishes a lot easier. They set the tone. I really do believe that. Good morning sets the tone. Sets the tone. And this is coming from someone who's journeyed both paths. I used to start mornings with no working out, nothing. Immediately upon waking up, first thing I do is I eat. Like, it hasn't even been 20 seconds of me waking up. I wake up, don't even brush my teeth. I just eat some food, brush my teeth, take a shower, start working. It feels terrible. As opposed to when I get up, clear mind, I train, intense focus, put myself through some degree of stress. And what happens is I become laser focused the rest of the day, like highly, highly focused. What else can I get done? What else can I get done? What else can I get done? I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Wake up at a consistent time. Believe it or not, it's not about how much sleep you get. It's what really matters is how consistent you are. What's your sleep cycle? So let's say you manage to get 6 hours every day for the next week. But one day you sleep at 1 a.m., get up at 7. One day you sleep at 10, wake up at 4. One day you sleep at 11, wake up at 5. You sleep at 2, wake up at 8. That does more damage. That does a lot more damage. It's about consistency. The patterns of sleep matter. If you can keep the same pattern, your circadian rhythm doesn't freaking fall out of loop and get screwed up. If you don't know what your circadian rhythm is, it's like a biological clock. Right? There's a certain time when your body secretes a lot of melatonin. There's a certain time when your body's on high alert. There's a certain time when your body's stronger, so you can do physical activities and you'll perform exceptionally well. There's a time where your mind is extremely dialed in on something. There's intense focus, and so it's good to do like deep work in those moments. Just search up circadian rhythm. We all have a biological clock. Not having a proper pattern of sleep really disrupts that biological clock. And then your functions kind of fall off. Your bodily functions, your body, it just doesn't function right. It doesn't behave accordingly, and it really falls out of loop. So I'd say wake up at a consistent time. Spend 5 to 10 minutes reflecting on your goals. Prioritize the top tasks. Hey, today I got to do this, 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 and this. This is pretty important. Let's get it done. Boom. Here's a conclusion. I'm going to wrap it all up, man, in case you already forgot. Being overly nice to yourself leads to excuses, leads to comfort, stagnation. True kindness means you respect your goals and you respect future you, which means you push yourself towards becoming future you, not stagnating because you want to feel okay. Don't excuse mediocrity. Embrace the hardship that it takes to become exceptional. Be honest about your shortcomings. Use them as a stepping stone. Balance, self-compassion, and balance is, if you need balance, do it, but you can balance self-compassion with accountability and action. That's fine. Look, next time you catch yourself being too nice, ask yourself, is this helping me become the person I want to? If the answer is no, it's time to make a different choice. You gotta know what's that one area in your life that you've been letting yourself off the hook on recently? If you've been letting yourself off the hook, you got to fix it. Before one problem turns into 5, turns into 10, and now your life spirals downward. Trust me, been there, done that. Doesn't feel that good. I can name a lot of things that feel better. That's not something that I would say feels good. In my entire life, some of the best days are days that I've been completely occupied all day, and I've done things that I just know will help me launch and get to that point where I see future me. Those are some of the best days. And so what I try to do is I try to squeeze and pick those actions and incorporate them every day. My best days, when I look back on my life, the best days of my life are me waking up early, training, fasting, and throughout the day, I'm not eating food, I'm just drinking water. Throughout that fasting period, I am so dialed and my mental clarity is so enhanced and the clairvoyance is magnificent. I'm just dialed in and I do a lot of deep work. And when I'm done with the deep work, then I can do tasks that are less important. And that right there, it has made the most impact in my life. Being nice to yourself doesn't always work, man. Also, all depending on what your goal is. If your goal is to be one with the universe and self-love, and you're okay with who you are and you've accepted defeat, that's fine. But if maybe there's a part of you inside that isn't okay with defeat, maybe there's something lingering deep inside the constructs of your soul and your spirit, and it says, I want more from my life, and I'm itching to get it, but damn it, I need strength. Just start with, don't be nice to yourself. Be nice to yourself by making future you proud. And in doing so, you will grow as a byproduct of taking the actions that's necessary. That's all I got.